then, this movie made me feel 100 times more stupid than I thought. Hey guys, Cait here, and it's been a while since I've been to the movies and watched what was new. Because, trust me, a lot of the movies were not really noteworthy to watch, or I just forgot. So, this movie I went to go see on Saturday was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and people have been raving about this movie. Like, raving. It's the latest Quentin Tarantino film, and people are just, whoa. Like, they went whoa for this. So I went to go see this with my sister because she really wanted to go, and I've seen clips from Pulp Fiction. I've seen clips from Kill Bill. I know what the Tarantino style is like, so the only thing I was anticipating in this movie was where the, what I like to call the WTF moment was going to be, because as we all know, if we've all seen, like, the popular Tarantino movies, we know that he loves to put in the WTF moment somewhere. Because the movie might be about one thing, but then it goes in an entirely different direction somewhere towards the end of the movie. But when it comes to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, though people, pretty much praise this movie, and trust me, with the things I learned about this movie after I went to go see it, I think it should be praised. I also have mixed feelings on how Tarantino, decided to do it. So the movie begins with, Leonardo DiCaprio as Rick Dalton, who is this really famous, Western-type actor from the 1950s, and now we're in 1969, and he's going to shoot a TV show, or a new TV show, where he's the villain character in a Western, and he has a best friend who is Brad Pitt, named Cliff Booth, and Cliff Booth is also Rick's stunt double. I'm not going to explain what the stunt double does, I think y'all know what a stunt double is, but unlike the whole, usually the stunt double is jealous of the main actor because the main actor gets paid more, Cliff is, like I said, he is Rick's best friend. Like, he has nothing against Rick at all in the slightest. However, Rick has a problem because like I said, his prime was the 1950s when he was the main hero on, this TV show called Bounty Law, which is obviously not a real show, it was made up for this movie. And, the 60s are here, it's gonna go to 1970 soon, and, Rick is way past his prime. Like, the reason why he got the villain role for the upcoming TV show was, it's basically how there's a director character or manager character played by Al Pacino, and he basically tells Rick, aka Leonardo, that, the more villain roles that you're gonna keep getting in these, TV shows / movies, basically you're gonna end up doing, spaghetti westerns, which are basically, western movies made in Italy. And that's pretty much the very bottom of the barrel for an actor like Rick. And Rick is really upset because, like I said, he was super famous at one point, but he knows his career is going to go downhill. He knows he's not going to make much money as he used to. He knows he's not going to be as famous as he once was. And so, he and Cliff are going to try to, like, stick it out because Cliff wants, Rick to succeed and all that fun stuff. That's what I thought the movie was going to be about, but apparently the movie also has another arc with, this other famous pairing where this woman's married to a famous director. Now, before I move on, for some reason, Tarantino decided to use real people from the 1960s to portray as characters in this movie, and the lead woman is actually a really famous person from the 60s, but I don't think I'm gonna mention her name because I would spoil the entire movie if I do, and spoil what it's about, really, or at least what I came up with after I saw the movie, so I'm not gonna go dive into that. Also, I don't want to dive into that because that arc is completely and utterly pointless. Because the movie advertises as, okay, you have Rick and Cliff, and you also have this famous couple. The famous couple does jack squat throughout the entire movie. Like, okay, they go to parties, they go shopping. Like, I don't know if this is Quentin Tarantino's style or anything, because I haven't seen the full thing of Kill Bill or Pulp Fiction, but oh my god, their scenes are boring, and they distract of basically what I want to see from Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. Like, I expected, like, what to happen is maybe Rick and Cliff will meet the other two, like, somewhere in the middle of the movie, and, chaos ensues. That's what I thought was gonna happen? No. No, it didn't. I'm just gonna flat out say it. No, it doesn't. It doesn't go anywhere until the very end of the movie. And again, I'm not gonna spoil what that is because it would ruin the entire point of this non-spoiler review. And because the movie's still out, I do not want to spoil it for anyone. And even with Rick and Cliff, their arc sounds like it's gonna go somewhere with the two, but then it just absolutely plummets. And it plummets because it's all building up to the WTF moment, which has no connection to the main plot whatsoever, in my opinion. This is the only thing I think I can tell you without really spoiling what was supposed to happen in this movie. Cliff, there are scenes where, Cliff is flirting with one of the hippie girls that he sees on the streets in Hollywood, and one time he actually picks her up in his car, and, she says, oh, take me back to this said ranch, which used to be, the ranch that Bounty Law was filmed. That's where Rick starred in his show. So Cliff is like, oh yeah, I'll go back there for the nostalgia. And, the ranch has been taken over by a hippie commune, and, some crap goes down in there that, again, I'm not gonna spoil because I would ruin the entire movie if I do. When Cliff goes to this ranch, I will say, this is where the movie starts getting weird. Weird as in, the beginning was taking it somewhere, but then the movie took it in a complete 180 and basically disregarded everything that happened in the first half. I really liked how Rick was basically a dried up actor. Like, I wanted to see what Leo was going to do with that. Because there are points where Leo says that he's like, okay, I need to stop being an alcoholic because that's screwing up my lines for this role that I really want to play and try to be good at. I'm going to stop doing drugs. I'm gonna stop doing all this crazy stuff. Like, I'm gonna get my butt right on track. And I'm like, yes, I like characters who are not perfect and they try to fix themselves. That's what the point of a movie should be. Like, there's this flaw or obstacle that they need to overcome, and it should be overcome. This movie doesn't do that. Like, it wants to do that, you can see it, but it doesn't. Because, like I said, because it's all leading up to the WTF moment that ends up almost being completely and utterly pointless. And basically this whole movie, to me, was, I think Tarantino wanted to go in a certain direction, which is perfectly fine, because he's the director and he can do whatever he wants. But I feel like to fill in the filler moments, he just didn't know exactly what to do. Like, this whole movie feels like a million story ideas being combined together, and none of them get polished, like, a river stone to being turned into, like, some really fancy gem that you can sell in a ring. None of them get polished, none of them get completed, and like I said, I think all Tarantino wanted was to express this WTF moment that he had this perfect idea about, and oh, the rest of the movie, you can just forget about that. That's completely useless. And that is what I cannot stand. Because if you're going to invest people in a movie, the shock factor should not be the main point. Like, I don't know if that's why people are giving this movie good ratings or not. Because personally, I think what really gets the best out of everything in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the 60s aesthetic. Tarantino really knew how to play this up, because it's not just the costumes and the atmosphere of the movie, it's also how the movie was filmed. It looks like it was filmed the way that a 1960s movie would. Like, there's these certain camera angles that are very 60s, how Leo and Cliff, like, act is sort of very 60s. Like, even the ending credits is the most 1960s/70s thing you have ever seen in your life. Like, I thought I would never see those credits again since the last time I've seen, I don't know, The Rescuers or The Jungle Book, or just any movie that was from the 60s in general. I thought I would never see those types of credits at the end of a film ever again. There was something I wanted to say that was also a negative comment, but I completely, totally forgot. So, you could just give me a few seconds to remember it. So, when I was referring to the comment that I said, basically, that this movie made me 100 times stupider than I thought I was, it all relates to when my sister and I were looking up what this movie was supposed to be about on the internet after we watched it. The one big hint I can give is just 2 words. Alternate universe. That's it. I'm not going to mention anything else. Just alternate universe. Because if you know your pop history or your pop culture history, you would understand what was supposed to go down in the events of the movie that it should. Because if you didn't know this going in, you're just going to be sitting there like, what on earth did I just watch? And that was exactly my opinion while watching this movie. But as I said before, I think this concept of the alternate universe is kind of what it goes against this movie's favor, because it doesn't exactly give too much detail on what the setting is supposed to look like. Yeah, they give you, like, the dates where the events are taking place, they give you the times, but what's also inconsistent is that they give you some sort of a narrator, but he only comes in, like, the first, like, eighth of the movie, and then he comes back at the, like, last 30 minutes of the movie, and I'm just like, okay, was this supposed to be done on purpose? Like, are we supposed to be looking for something? To which my opinion, okay, yeah, I think we were supposed to be looking for something, but we just didn't know what exactly it was supposed to be. And like I said, if you were a pop culture buff, you would entirely understand it. Like I said, I don't think this movie is just for anyone to watch. It's for people who, going in, really understand what the movie's supposed to be about. And I mean, really what it's supposed to be about. And I'm so angry that I can't spoil it for you, because I have a thing when I started doing these movie impressions, is that if the movie is still in theaters, or if it hasn't been a year or 2 years since the movie initially came out in theaters, I would not spoil it, because I know we're a spoiler culture, and we get very uppity when people spoil things, especially the latest Marvel movies, and I do not want to be that person that people yell at because I don't mention spoiler warning in the title of my videos, or I just decide to spoil the whole thing because I'm just that annoying, which I am not. So if I had to rate this movie after thinking about it for a bit, I would give it a 3 out of 5 stars if I had to do it on a 5-star rating. I think Tarantino did implement some of the things that he wanted to do. I just felt like there could have been more, and it definitely took way too long to go from, oh, we're starting at one story, to going into an entirely different story that leads to absolutely nowhere. Like, this movie was 2 hours and 45 minutes. I was sitting in my seat, like, looking at my phone's clock, waiting for that WTF moment to come, because you know when that WTF moment comes, that's when we're getting really down to business. But, holy cow. I think this movie just took way too long to get to the point where Tarantino was more than proud of. I'm just saying. If you guys really like this movie, please tell in the comments below why I may be wrong in these cases. I would like to start a conversation about it, because this movie is a lot to dig into more than just an impressions video. Like, I can tell you that right now. And if you don't like this movie, please comment, and I want to know why. Like, I definitely know that after watching this movie, I went to look at the reviews, and I've seen it on Letterboxd. Even though it was a score of 4 out of 5, there are a lot of mixed reviews in the comments. So, if you're one of those people who put a mixed comment, or even if you like this movie, like I said, please share your opinions below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel for some more videos. I promise I will be posting more. I'm Cait, Cher, and it's been real.